Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week in Destiny, moin moin. That's hello in German, Guardians. This week in Destiny, we're going fishing. All over the world, Guardians have fallen in love with those little fishies. So this week, we have something special for you. But first, in case you missed something last week, we had TWID at Bungie 2023 recap and a free emotes, a nice little sandbox Q&A to dive a little bit deeper into some of the most frequent burning questions. Iron Banner is back with Eruption, fashion contest picks for hashtag Drown in the Drip, PlayStation X Destiny 2 crossover Arch Roundup. Now for this week, we have Throne World Fishing Rally, Bungie Day Giving Festival announcement, what's new from our player support team, weekly Art of the Week and Movie of the Week picks, and without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, you also have that, and the plagiarism thing, guys. We're gonna talk about that today. But first, let's talk about Get the Fishies and the Loot. To start the TWID off, we have a tip for all who haven't found out yet. You might want to visit Hawthorne. We heard that our people found something in the fishing ponds in the Throne World. Go and spend some time there and see what bites. Remember, you gotta catch them all. Have fun fishing, Guardians. Yeah, we have a guide coming out on that, guys. We looked into the database, we digged a little bit deeper, but yes, this is gonna be tied to the exotic quests. More on that later. Now, Bungie Day Giving Festival. Bungie Day, which is July the 7th, is right around the corner, and we're excited to welcome back the Bungie Day Giving Festival for its 4th edition. This year's campaign returns with some of our biggest incentives, prizes, and surprises yet. The festivities kick off on Thursday, July the 6th at 10 a.m. with our first feature stream, and the fun rolls through July the 23rd. There'll be more ways than ever to get involved this year with the campaign. Stay tuned for a special blog post next Wednesday, June the 28th, for full details on how to register, what you can earn and win, and to learn about all the ways your continued support has created real, impactful, tangible good in the world. Don't miss it. Now, known issues. Guys, these are our known issues right now. Helmet Saint 14 is still not functioning correctly. Some seasonal challenges not progressing, but I actually want to go ahead and cycle into the big topic at hand, which is plagiarism. No, this is not included in the TWAB, but we had not covered this story all week because I was actually waiting on Bungie to talk about this. But in the cutscene from this past week's story mission, there was an image or an animation, and it was pointed out in the community that this was actually an artwork created by a community member. Now, pulled here from the Gamepost, the Destiny 2 developer has been accused of plagiarizing fan art in one of the game's recently released cutscenes. Now, no lie, that is a pretty bold allegation. But it was mentioned here that Bungie released one of the most important cutscenes in Destiny's 9 years as part of the season's ongoing quests. And that the recently released cutscene in Destiny 2 has finally provided answers to questions that players have been asking for a long time. However, it seems that Bungie has now found itself caught up in a controversy surrounding this very cutscene. The controversy erupted when Julian Falona, the original creator of the fan art, voiced their astonishment on Twitter after discovering that their work had been replicated in the Season the Deep's cutscene without any sort of credit. Falona specifically claimed that Bungie had taken inspiration from their fan art. Quote, "I just realized Bungie took inspiration from my piece for this week's cutscene. Certainly took me by surprise when I watched the cutscene," the tweet reads. Now, we actually get a side-by-side comparison here, guys, and it's hard to actually say that this piece was not straight up copy pasta. I mean, look at this. Cutscene on the left, artwork on the right. And again, this is featuring the Veiled Darkness statue. You've got the pyramid ships in the background, the Traveler there in the middle. This is literally the copy my homework meme, but with like literally no change. Now, this led to a lot of questions like, okay, when exactly was this posted? Could it be that there were actually two artists that had the same exact art piece, which seems kind of odd, but okay, sure, right? Turns out the Veil of the Darkness was posted in October of 2020, so well before this scene was actually made. Because I saw a lot of defenses here like, oh no, this was probably a piece that got data mined and then leaked, and then this artist tried to actually draw this piece for their submission. Bungie should get the credit, not this artist. Now guys, this was actually posted back in 2020. And Falona actually has a number of different art pieces on their art station, each with a lot of different characters. So this person is truly an artist, and obviously good enough that Bungie wants to use their piece in a cutscene. This led a lot of people in the community to be very, very upset. And even as a content creator, we have to give credit when using other people's stuff, which I want to take this moment right now to say thank you to Bife, Mylan, Dado, Sweatsickle, and anyone else that we watch clips of live on our Twitch channel. We do this a lot. A lot of you come in and ask us to watch things live. This is just a reminder to ourselves to constantly be crediting people because unfortunately, sometimes we even forget. But in this case, for Bungie, this really is not a good look. Fortunately for us though, Destiny 2 team today put out the following tweet. We discovered that an external vendor that helped to create this cutscene mistakenly used this art as a reference, assuming it was official Bungie art. We have reached out to the artist to apologize for the mix-up and to credit and compensate them for their awesome work. I think you have to acknowledge it, guys, considering it's literally right there in front of us. Now, I do want to mention that based on Bungie's TOS, I've been told that anything you submit on their website is legally Bungie's. As in, they could take your art piece and use it, do whatever they want with it, and go on with their day. But I think what this circles around to is not necessarily whether or not Bungie was legally in the right to use this art piece in a cutscene. That's whatever to me. I mean, based on those same terms of service, Bungie could actually come out and hit us with a strike on our channel for copyright, simply for covering this TWAB, simply for actually making content on their games. So legally, yeah, Bungie can do those things, but is it shitty? Now, I do want to mention that yes, there should be better ways to vet everything that's happening within Destiny at Bungie with what's being used, and that all people should be credited. But dude, there are countless submissions every single week. The question is whether or not this artist saw this piece in passing and was like, oh, I've got a great idea, and like thought to themselves that this was their own idea, or if they actually sat down and like copy this exact art piece. And when we look at it side by side, it looks like that. But keep in mind, when it comes to things like Destiny, it's such a big game. There's things constantly being outsourced, but I do believe you should always credit the original artist for anything. And maybe a step further, perhaps Julian should be hired, because obviously the artwork here was good enough to include it in one of the biggest cutscenes ever. I mean, we're literally looking at the origin of the witness right here. Just my opinion, guys. I think in this situation, Bungie could go about it whatever way they want. They can credit, they can pay. That's all good and all. But perhaps extending a job invitation to this artist, now that's classy. With that being said, though, I'm glad this has been resolved. Now, as a final note here from this week's TWAB, so that's it for this week's TWID. I hope you had a fun reading, and now go catch some fish. Get ready for the upcoming Bungie Day Giving Festival, and keep an eye out for a preview of our mid-season weapon tuning update in July. See you next time, and hunt rain. That's let's go in German. Timon. Now, I had some folks reach out on Twitter asking, will Bungie in a TWID or a TWAB actually address the monetization inside of Destiny? And guys, I have to agree with Dado on this. I don't think they ever will. Hence why he had made that video a long time ago called Foreververse. I wish they would, and it's definitely made a splash, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who has watched that video. But the question that was presented to us yesterday on stream, knowing what you know now about the monetization, would you have still played Destiny? The answer to that is yeah. I still think Destiny is a great game. I still very much enjoy playing this game. But anytime things start to get out of line, such as what we're seeing here, I want to be on the right side of history. And I know that sounds very dramatic, but if things go south in a bad way in monetization, I want to be standing on the side that said, hey, this is a problem. And I think more than anything, what this really boils down to is that we want Destiny to be the game that we know it can be. Something the other day that a writer from Polygon mentioned in a tweet was that if you dislike a game, just quit. Just quit. If you don't like a game, why sit around and complain about it? Quit trying to change things. You can't change it all. And to me, that's a very bad mindset. People are not complaining about Destiny because they just want to wake up and shit on this game. I can tell you that's the last thing we wanted to do. And I'm only making these comments because I actually want to just let this lay. I don't want to say anything else more on this. We want Destiny to get better. We want Bungie to keep making Destiny 2, potentially a Destiny 3, and always have somebody on Twitter do a drive-by business 101 tweet long about how Bungie needs to be making other games. Look, we either like a game or we don't. We either feel like you're investing in us, and that makes us in turn invest in you. Activision was painted the evil baddie for years. Bungie is employing tactics rivaling that of Activision. When that happens, we have a responsibility on this channel to point it out. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.